Hey y'all.
Hey,
Welcome to the accountability call. Y'all, this is accountability call 20. Okay. We have reached 20 of these here. I'm excited. If it's your first time joining us, we do this every week at 10-ish on Mondays. We are all Black women, business owners, and mothers in our own right. And we are trying to get to our goals. And we know that the best way to get there is to hold each other accountable because life be lifing and it be trying to shut you down. Okay. Now listen, we usually start off with something that we learned last week. I want to share immediately what I learned last week, okay? Because it was a doozy. So what I learned last week was to double down. That's what I learned last week. I learned to double down. I was in a really hard situation in my real estate business. I had gotten approved, and if you've been following, we have had all of the downs, very few ups, many a downs in our real estate business. And we have been approved for a loan, a project completion loan, which is an additional loan on top of the loan we already have. And I think the guy who was lending it to us might have, maybe he was just overwhelmed. I don't know, but he basically forgot that he had already approved what he had approved, and he tried to renege on what he'd already approved. And so I was at a place where, you know, all green lights were a go. Everybody had checked and said, yeah, you can do it. We were headed towards the finish line, I thought. And then he was like, oh, actually, we can't lend it. And I was like, I'm ready to give up. Like, I was ready to give up. I was ready to stop. I was like, maybe I just filed for bankruptcy. I don't got to pay nobody back. Nothing. Right. I get an email from him 10 days after he had already approved it to say, actually, we may not be able to do it. And I listened to this podcast. And if you are a business owner, I highly suggest you go and listen to a podcast, episode 510 of the Life Coach School podcast. It's called What is Hard? And in this podcast, it helped me to see that what I thought was hard is not even hard. Okay. And basically, what she talks about is how, especially when you're an entrepreneur, there are stages to entrepreneurship, right? The beginning, you are just becoming aware of the possibility that you could make some money outside of your job. Like, it's a possibility. And that's how I feel about my real estate business. Like, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad years ago. And it was like, people making money doing this? Okay, let's go. So then you get to the stage where you're like, all right, I have the belief that it's possible for me enough to be able to, like, maybe consider doing it. Like, I might make a decision to do it. That was in 2021. Me and my husband was like, okay, we about to jump into this real estate business. We're about to do the things, right? We're going to buy property. We're going to hire a realtor, all the things. We set all of them in place. But at that time, we had no evidence. And in this stage, you have no evidence that it's not possible for you. You're really just running on your belief, right? From your awareness. And then you get to stage 3 where you're in action. And that's where we at right now, right? We in action. We've been in action since 2022, April, we bought our property. We've been in action. Like, we doing the rehab. We doing the, all of the things. We had a tenant in there. We getting money. We got a lawyer. We got all these things, right? On our way to make some cash flow. However, it is 2024 and cash flow has yet to come. Okay. We have lost way more money than we've gotten. And to the point where we've had to change our strategy for this property. We were going to rent it. Now we have to sell it so that we can get our money back out. Right. And the biggest thing with stage 3 is that you're in action and you're getting all of the evidence that it may be possible for others, but it ain't possible for you. Right? That is where we have been since literally 2022. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong, period. And even things that we couldn't even fathom has gone wrong. Right? And so when I got that email from our lender, I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, I ain't got no more in me. I'm done. And what she says is, like, stage 3 is really when people quit because you have way more evidence that it's not possible than you have evidence that it is possible, right? For yourself, right? It don't matter what it happened with nobody else, for yourself. And that is where I was last week. But then I listened to this podcast and I learned to double down because what I realized was the people who are in the 10%, the people who are in the 1%, the people who actually are successful in entrepreneurship are the people who, when they're in stage 3 and they have more evidence against the possibility for themselves than they do for the possibility for themselves, they double down, right? They do not give up. They keep pushing. Like, and that's what I did. I had a phone call with that man. I was like, look, baby, I know you had thought you was going to renege, but you're going to give us this money. Okay. And these are the reasons why. Like, I had my numbers in order. I had my thoughts in order. You know, I had my reputation in order. You know, I was ready to coach him through it if I had to. Like, it was like, no, like, this is not happening. And at the end of that call, he we was like, okay, cool. Like, we gonna give you the money. Just send us this contact information. Boom. Like, and so I learned last week that one of the reasons that I have not been as successful as I have wanted to be in the businesses that I have started and the project that I have started is because I had not yet learned the lesson to double down in those moments, like, as opposed to stepping back, as opposed to, you know, leaning into my job. Because at this point, I ain't got no job. So ain't no job to lean into, boo-boo. You got to make it work. And I think that this real estate, as I look back on it, I'm like, this business was going to be the only one to teach me this, because we have so much invested into this property. Hundreds of thousands of dollars invested into this property. So if I step back, if I don't double down, the only other option is for it to all fall apart, and not just the project to fall apart. A lot of other things are going to fall apart. So I could not give up, right? And so I was just like, oh, okay. So even in the small projects that don't have and carry so much weight, what I have learned last week was, even in those, we double down. Even the small project like working out, right? The small thing, like, okay, working out every day, like, that's a very small thing. But in the times where my child is home for a week and a half and she's sick and it's fevers and it's all in the real estate and all these other things are going on that make me want to stop, like, no, boo, we doubling down. We doubling down from now. So that was my lesson last week. Okay. Anybody else want to share? I know Z had to run it back on the on the double down too.
So no need to reiterate what she said. That was definitely part of my lesson. I'm 100% in stage 3, leaning into stage 4. But one of the things that like was kind of crystallized for me, we've talked about celebrating the steps and not the results, right? Like, we have to put our focus on what am I supposed to do and doing that, and not tying the celebration to like the results that happen after that. But what we didn't tell you, or what we had not fully actualized in our body, is that sometimes you will be putting in work and the reward just hasn't come yet. I'm not saying that it's not going to come, but it has not come. I can say that 2024, the first 3 weeks of 2024, man, every week I was killing it. Like, all of my to-do lists, I'm getting it done. I'm making progress. I'm making steps. However, how's and ever, that does not equate to the check yet. And so I started entrepreneurship in 2022. So now it's 2024. And while I am making money, it has not been to the point yet to sustain my lifestyle. And I, at the same time, savings are being depleted, not just from living, but from actually investing in the business. And when I say the business, I mean all 3 of my businesses. Okay. Because it's not just one, it's 3. And so I was just feeling like, I don't know what to do, because I feel like I'm doing all of the things, but I haven't yet reaped the rewards of all the things that I'm doing. And so accountability partner to the rescue, you know, I called Inez, and number one, she shared that that same podcast with me, and I listened to it. And then she told me, like, girl, you're gonna have to ask for some money from your family. And I was like, what? Who? Never. Ever in my 40 years of living ask anybody for anything that I couldn't give back in 5 minutes. Like, I don't ask for help. So she told me that, and it was literally the answer. And it gave me, like, it took away the stress and strain that I was putting on myself so that I can keep being successful at doing the things that I'm supposed to do. I know that the reward is coming. I can't tell you when. I can't tell you which one of the tasks that I completed that's going to lead to the reward, but they all will in their own time. And so I just had to figure out a way to get through whatever that major stressor was. And also, like, let's be clear, like, there are funds that are already on the way. They're just not here yet. So it's not even like I'm in a space where I have to ask for some money, not knowing where it's gonna come from. But like, it really is just like, I need about 15 days until this next comes through, so that I can be good. But that's a place of vulnerability for me, where I'm just so used to being independent, and I pride myself on being independent and not having to ask anyone for help. That it almost like, it's one of those things where it's like, well, if you can't do it by yourself, can you even do it? And I have all of these thoughts of like what people are going to say. Now, these people, I'm not asking for money, but just people,
right?
just people, what people might say. But it's like, girl, you know what's laid out. You know what you have coming. You know what you're working towards. So you got to be able to put yourself out there to be vulnerable a bit, to get you to the next phase. So, put in the work, but you don't know when the reward is going to come, and you have to be okay with that. And you have to keep working. And then any stressors that come up, you don't change doing the work. You get rid of the stressor.
Come on.
That's what I learned this week.
Yes. Eve?
Why are we all on the same tip?
Listen.
Yeah, last week was quite a few ups and downs, very much so, very similar. I think I've been efforting a lot. And I was just like, and I've been, one of the things that I say in the morning to myself is like, give it your all and don't be attached to the outcome. And I was struggling with that a little bit, because there is a time frame that I have in my mind that I want, that will make me feel secure in all this efforting that I'm doing. But I'm like, girl, you legitimately cannot control the future. So like, just sit in the fact of that all of the actions that you're taking is going to give you everything that you need. So even today, I'm like, there's some decisions that I have to make that I don't necessarily want to make, but it's coming from the place of like, am I going to continue to be patient and wait, or instead a little bit of more control for myself so that I feel like that I'll be good in a couple of weeks. So it's a journey balancing those two. But like, there's so many dope opportunities and things here that are here my way. So I feel like the lesson of last week is very similar to y'all. Is like, give it your all and don't be attached to the outcome, because you don't know how your dollars, your blessing, your miracle, your opportunity, your pivot, your reinvention, your restoration, what it's gonna look like. But as long as you know your why, I feel very good about my why, then keep it going. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Myron Golden says all work works. And he talks about how either the work is working or it's working on you. One of the two. Okay. And it's gonna work on you until you become the person for whom it will work for.
So, listen, and I be wanting to get up off me. Like,
come out. It's gonna keep working on you. So you become the person that it can work for. And I'll be like, woo. I feel it working on me, y'all. I feel it working on me. So, let's dive into last week. All right. So, last week, oh Lord. Okay, so our top 3 from last week. Mine were expect to be approved to add the second lien. Yes. That happened. Live my life on the calendar. I did that too. Set up systems for high level adulting. I did not do that. But I did get back into my business coaching. And then make 10 p.m. bedtime. Now, let me tell y'all, I was going to bed last week. Okay. Now this weekend, I was up. But let me tell you what I did last night. I went to bed at 10 o'clock so that I would be extra rested today. Okay. I was like, and good night at 10 o'clock yesterday. So I am on top of this bedtime, and it is humongous. Like, it's crazy. This morning I got up out the bed. I was like, okay, girl, I cleaned my room. I folded towels. I washed my face. I got my baby's lunch ready. She was out the door at 8:45. I was just like, see, all it took was me going to bed. Like, that's all it took. So yes, I was on top of it last week, and I'm very proud of myself. And my word was discipline, and I already know what my word gonna be this week, y'all. I'm on that. I just don't know what my goals are. Eve, you supposed to be moving out the tenant, vegan herbal flex, talking to medical anthropologists. Those are the only things I have written down for you. Anything else?
Okay,
I don't know why I can't hear you well.
talking to, can you hear me now?
Does she sound low to you, Z? Yeah, you're.
Hello.
I need to lean into the microphone.
Lean into the
I
microphone.
can't. I don't know what happened to the sound, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think wait, no, I'm checking the audio. Yeah, it should be good. Yes, so I definitely spoke to some medical anthropologists. That was really fun. Got some really great insights. I have not given myself the time to process what they shared because it's a lot of reading that comes along with it. But I'm glad I was able to speak to someone and get some thoughts on that TV show proposal, whether it be for now or the future. I am keeping up with the vegan herbal flex, which is good. Um, I moved the tenant out, so right now I'm going through the process of did the move out inspection. So I got to go through the process of, making sure everything was good and figuring out whatever I needed to do and send them and mailing them a check for their security deposit and getting the place cleaned up for another tenant. I passed my PMP.
Yes.
So,
Come on. Come on. Yes.
and what they heard about me.
Exactly. PMP. Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I wanted to accomplish. So I didn't realize that I actually did everything and then something. And then some.
Very good. Very good. Z,
I had a good week last week.
honey, you had a great week.
On my list was first I had to launch Riot Retreats. It is actually launching today. We did a soft launch on Friday. We just needed to button up some things, so it will be launching today. So very excited about that. I did my DISC assessment facilitation. This was the first one, and it was phenomenal. First of many. Like that one was a huge accomplishment. And just putting it out there, I decided to get certified to facilitate DISC in May of 2023 while we were on your 40th birthday trip to Belize. And so from May to January was the time of ideation to completion in terms of facilitating. And it's like, yo, things can happen, like it was within a year of being able to not only pay for the course, take the course, let people know, market it, and then actually secure a gig and deliver the gig. Like that was really a dope experience. And that is now something I could just wash, rinse, repeat. It was a really big crowd. It was like 30 students, and it was so well. It went so well. So very proud of that. For my truck driving school, I wanted to find out about the impact of large trucks on asphalt. So I did that. So I can't use the initial place that I wanted to use for the school. So now I have to figure out the next place, but and order the curriculum, which I did do that. The prospecting 15 minutes per day, I didn't do that. However, I did have a lot of great conversations last week that led to additional contacts. So the prospecting happened, but just in a different way. And I absolutely did not food prep at all. I did cook, but I did not food prep.
Hey, we looking for progress, not perfection. Okay, this is what we do. What just came to my mind is, how is it possible for you to outsource the prospecting?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Because I feel like you got what you want to say. It's just a matter of copy, paste, and send.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be an option.
Yeah. It's I don't
It's
know.
the selection of the people who you want to send it to.
Exactly. And when I select the person, I just copy paste send. So like that's the hard part. I don't have like a list of people
Okay.
because I think the person would need to know like what the relationship is. Because some
Yeah.
people, it changes, like even if it's just changing one word. But
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
have an issue with doing it. Like I said, I'm only trying to do 15 minutes a day. Like I'm not even trying to be out
Okay.
here doing this for hours. And it's actually pretty motivating. But what I can do is outsource the follow-up because like let's say the first 11 people that I reached out to, maybe 12 people I reached out to, I believe 8 responded and got time on the calendar. I met with 4, 2 didn't show up, and 2
Oh yeah.
week. So like following up with the people to reschedule someone who didn't show up, and then also the people who didn't respond. So like I said, 12, there were 4 who didn't respond. So someone
Right.
can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fabulous. Now the crazy thing is, y'all, if y'all have not been following, I wanted to say podcast. This ain't even podcast, but I was about to say podcast vlog, I guess. Honey, we didn't used to be on top of our stuff like this, y'all. We used to be like, I did one thing. Okay. So this is growth. Okay, like that's what this is. It's growth. All right. So who has their goals written for the week? Because I do not. Now listen. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Z's word last week was completion, and she has completed. Okay. Round of applause. Okay. Yeah. So every week we do our top 3 goals for the week. And we do a 4th one, or 4 goals and a 5th one. But one of them has to be a self-care goal because it's important to take care of yourself while you're trying to reach your goals. Does anybody have their goals ready? Because I do not.
I kind of do.
Okay.
Okay. So number 1, as I mentioned, I need to find a new location for a truck driving school. This is something that I'm like very nervous about just because it's new. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? So sometimes when I get nervous, I can move my feet really slowly. So I need to reach out to a new contact this week to see if we can at least do the parking test there. Like, I guess there's a few things with the truck driving school, but I need to find out, 1, if my place where we do the parking has to be at the same place where we do the schooling, like the actual in-class session. 2, I need to follow up with the place where I know I can do the parking to see if I can do the parking there and or just the school. I'm sorry, just the parking or school parking with school. So those are 2, like, it's all truck driving school related. So finding a location, secure location. There we go. So that's number 1. Number 2, I'm doing it's prospecting, but it's consists of both following up with the contacts from last week and then prospecting new contacts this week. Number 3, I got to do some parenting stuff. Staying on top of, the Blake's school and his grades and his assignments. That's a big one, and monitoring Avery at her new school. So I'm putting that on the list because it has to get done or needs to be a priority this week. I had a 4th and it has escaped me. So my self-care for this week, I have started literally today. My 30-30-30. So 30 minutes of working out. 30 minutes of working out, 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up every day. So I'm trying to.
So you have to do both of those within 30 minutes of waking up.
I try to get the workout in within 30 minutes and then do the 30 minutes of protein right afterwards.
Okay.
Like, I don't know that it's like getting started within 30 minutes.
Okay.
So I did that this morning. I feel really good. I feel really energized. So just trying to be like, not have like a plan that's like short term, but like this is something that I want to implement long term. So my 30-30-30 will be my self-care goal.
I like this. Did you come up with this?
No, ma'am. Found it on the Instagrams.
Oh yes, I like this. I like this. I like this.
Yeah.
Okay, Eve.
For me, I am continue with the herbal vegan flex. Something new to learn in that every single week. I made scallops, but they're mallops. I turned mushrooms into scallops. It was really cool.
Oh, good
um,
job, sis.
um, I am going to. mm, I'm going to secure a strategy to find a new tenant expeditiously
Mm.
um, for the property. Uh, and I'm going to
Who
sell.
vibrate?
That's me. I'm gonna sell
Oh.
some. I'm gonna sell some. I'm gonna begin the process of selling some assets this week. I think I decided.
Oh, okay.
Um, and last but not least, get some more YouTube content up.
Mm-hmm. So you want to put up more videos?
Yeah, I'm gonna put up more videos, some more shorts, and start some long form content.
Okay.
And this one is a stretch, but I'm gonna read a book this week. I want to read a book.
Yo, I need to have that on mine because there's so many books I want to read this year. Like so many. Okay. So my first goal is securing my funds for closing for on our new loan. I also want to update my resume and respond to recruiters on LinkedIn. Um, I want to pitch one podcast and one conference. Um, the other one, I don't know what to write, but it's really around like I'm really doubling down on learning how to copyright because what I've realized is writing, marketing, like digital marketing, is a skill that works in every arena and touches every arena. It works in your speeches. It works when you're on podcasts. It works on your social media posts. I mean, everywhere. When it's time for me to write my book. So it's like I have to double down and I want to learn the skill of copywriting, like, and get really good at that. So I found a guy who his videos are amazing and he does a really great job of going in detail. So I feel like I want to say study and implement copywriting practices.
Even if you learned one new copywriting skill,
Oh yes, yes,
that would be specific,
yes. I'm gonna
measurable,
say.
all the smart stuff.
Let me just put that on there. Yes, good job. Um, and then my self care, honey, again is what? Go
Go
to
to bed.
bed. Go to bed. Like this is it. Go to bed. Lay down at 10 p.m., honey. I got to be in the bed at 10 p.m. so I could be asleep by 11. Okay, so and if you're watching this, put your goals in here, honey. If you're not tracking them in a notebook, put them on here. We will help to hold you accountable to your goals. Next thing we do is a word for the week. Now, last week, my word was discipline. Eve's word was certainty. Z's word was completion. My word this week is actually two words and it's double down. That's gonna be
Double down.
that's it. Like that's it because that to me is just a reminder that in every single thing that I'm doing, like don't let up, like put your foot on its neck continually until you get out of it what you want. Um, yeah, because last week it was just like I stepped into that double down and it just turned around like that. So I'm like, okay, like this is I need to build that muscle. I need to build my double down muscle. So yes.
I'm just running completion back. Because when I complete the things that's on my to-do list, I'll get there. The reward will come. I'm keeping with completion. These are the things I said I want to do, so then just do it. Like,
yeah, I'm on the same tip. I'm sticking with certainty.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, I'm sticking with certainty. I need to stay in that same energy, give it my all. That's what I could be certain about. Let go of the outcome.
Yes, I feel like that certainty is so good because to me it is like moving with expectation, right? There's a certain level of expectation that you move in when you're certain, that you don't move in when you're uncertain. I remember recording a video, I'm not a video, a voice note to myself, as I was kind of talking through like how I'm able to take the trips that I want to take and why other people aren't. And I realize it is because I'm certain. Like I move in certainty around the things. I'm not like, oh my gosh, like these things. I'm just like, okay, on to the next thing. This is the problem. Okay, because I'm certain I will be there on the beach. I'm certain I will be there on the plane. So yes, Eve, continue to move in certainty, boo boo, and we shall as well this week. Oh, honey, we be rolling through these joints, honey. What?
Yep.
Now we could only start on time. That's what we're gonna try to do.
Why? No, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. We're gonna make space. We're gonna give ourselves grace because guess what? This is a place where we can be flexible. Because there are other areas in our lives that we can't. There were times when we worked for other people where we could not.
Honey.
We just needed 15 more minutes. So right now we're giving ourselves the grace and flexibility of 15 more minutes.
That is true. I'm here for that.
Well,
we'll start around 10 to 15-ish. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I say yes and amen to that. So y'all tune in. Next week it's around 10 to 10:15-ish.
Yeah.
Accountability call, okay?
Or watch replays. Yeah.
Yes, let us know what you think. What are your thoughts? Are you doubling down on anything, right? Are you experiencing anything that is hard, that you feel is hard, right? But you know is the only action, the only obstacle getting you, in your way from what you're trying to get. Let us know the things, honey. And we will see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.